Okay.
Is that okay, mean read?
Yeah.
Course 101, student outline, property tax administration. You told me to go to page 8. I'm going to page 8. Section 1, Introduction to the Property Tax System. Or is that what you meant by the title?
Yeah. No, you're fine.
Okay. Learning objectives. At the conclusion of this section, students should be able to define tax, value, rate, and property tax. Identify the primary source of funding for local government services, list the components of the property tax system, distinguish between taxing units, appraisal districts, and state agencies involved in the property tax system, identify the principal officials in the property tax system, list and discuss the reasons appraisal districts were created and how the appraisal district concept addresses those concerns. Identify the 4 phases of the tax cycle and describe the principal activities in each. A. Property taxes. Number 1, tax. A monetary payment that the government legally requires a person to pay. Usually there are 2 parts to a tax: a base amount against which the tax is imposed, such as sales price for sales tax, or income for the income tax, or value for property tax. A rate, a percentage that determines the amount of tax when you multiply it by its base. For example, if you buy a $1 can of soda and the sales tax is 8%, the amount of sales tax would be 0.08 times $1 or 8 cents. Property tax. A property tax is a tax that is measured by the value of property that the taxpayer owns. The base amount is the value of property that a person owns. The rate, called a tax rate, is a percentage set by the taxing unit that is going to tax the property. Multiplying the value times the rate produces the amount of tax. Property taxes are called ad valorem taxes. Ad valorem is a Latin phrase that means according to value. Property taxes are a primary source for funds for local government services such as schools, fire and police protection, county hospitals, and county roads. B. Administration of the tax property system. The property tax system consists of officials who administer the system, agencies in the property tax system, laws and regulations that govern what they do. Agencies in the property tax system. Taxing units. A taxing unit is a local government that levies property taxes. The following taxing unit sets tax rates and collects property taxes: the city, county, school district, a special district such as municipal utility district, junior college district, and hospital district. An appraisal district, often abbreviated CAD for County or Central Appraisal District, is an appraisal district. An appraisal district is a special purpose local government that appraises property for property tax purposes. State agencies do not levy property taxes but have some property tax related responsibilities. Comptroller of Public Accounts, Property Tax Assistance Division, PTAD. Main duties include technical assistance to tax units and central appraisal districts, Appraisal Review Board, ARB, training and model hearing procedures, Property Value Study, the PVS, Method and Assistance Program, the MAP, Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, TDLR, Texas Education Agency, TEA, Texas Legislature. They pass laws that govern the property tax system. And officials in the property tax system are governing bodies, groups of officials who oversee property tax agencies, Taxing unit governing bodies are school district, board of trustees, county commissioners court, city, the city council, others with various names. Appraisal district's governing body is its board of directors, the BOD. Governing bodies adopt budgets, appoint chief officials, and make any other decisions. Taxing unit governing bodies set tax rates. Presiding officer, governing body has a presiding officer, mayor, county judge, school board president, appraisal district, BOD chairman.
Board of director chairman.
Yeah. Specific officials, the chief appraiser, the chief administrator of the appraisal district. Individuals must possess one of the following in order to be appointed as a chief appraiser. Have a registered professional appraiser RPA certification. Hold a member of Appraisal Institute designation, the MAI. Have an assessment administration specialist, an AAS, certified assessment evaluator, CAE, or residential evaluation specialist, RES, designation from the Internal Association of Assessing Officers, the IAAO. The Appraisal Review Board, the ARB, they are a body of citizens who hear property tax disputes. The Appraisal District Board of Directors, they appoint the chief appraiser. They may appoint ARB. Members of the ARB are appointed by the Board of Directors if the county population is less than 120,000. Members of the ARB are appointed by the local administrative district judge in counties with a population of 120,000 or more. Appoint taxpayer liaison officer, the TLO, if there is one. Appraisal districts in counties with a population greater than 120,000 shall have a TLO. They adopt general policies. They approve district budgets. They are appointed in an election held by the taxing units. And each taxing unit, with exceptions, has voting strength proportionate to its tax levy. The assessor calculates taxes and prepares tax bills. The collector collects and accounts for property taxes. Why appraisal districts exist. Appraisal districts were created by the Texas legislature in 1979 and began operations in 1980 to 1984. Prior to the creation of appraisal districts, each taxing unit was responsible for its own appraisals. The taxing unit's governing body typically served as its ARB. Frequency of reappraisal was at the governing body's option, and the governing body could choose to assess property at a percentage of its market's value. Often, tax appraisers had little or no opportunity for continuing education and did not have the funds to operate a professional office. 3 reasons for the creation of appraisal districts: to avoid additional school finance litigation. School funds from the state were distributed according to property wealth, but school districts had widely differing levels of appraisal and appraisal practices. It was impossible to determine the true property wealth of a school district. Correct inequity and poor performance by appraisers. Each taxing unit was responsible for the taxing unit's appraisals. Many taxing units had not reappraised in years. Appraisers lacked training, and tax offices were inadequately funded. There were often great differences in the level of appraisals between homeowners and business property. Restrict political influence. Under the old system, the governing bodies of the taxing units, which determined spending, directly controlled the frequency and quality of reappraisals. How appraisal district concept addresses these problems. The appraisal district provides single appraisal and single ARB for all taxing units in the county. Taxpayers have the same type of appraisal for every tax they pay on a property. The appraisal district
appraisers.
I was trying to tie back in that number 3 because some of the stuff that I've been reading has kind of gotten lost.
Oh, I got you.
So, appraisal districts addresses a problem by allowing or by making the appraisers that they have to register with the state and complete a mandatory training and examination process. And properties must be appraised at market value, and all property must be reappraised at least once every 3 years according to a reappraisal plan adopted by the Appraisal District Board of Directors, or BOD. The appraisal district is independent of the taxing units, but it is overseen by a board of directors that is appointed by the taxing units and not directly elected. The board of directors in turn appoints the chief appraiser. As a part of continuing education, chief appraisers are required to attend a program about the importance of maintaining the independence of an appraisal district from political pressures. The appraisal district is funded by the taxing units and does not depend on revenues generated from its appraisals. And the Comptroller's Property Tax Assistance Division, the PTAD, checks the work of the appraisal district with a ratio study every other year. In alternate years, PTAD audits the governance, taxpayer assistance, and appraisal standards and methodology used by the appraisal district. Individual taxpayers who are dissatisfied with the appraisals have a user-friendly protest process and multiple ways to appeal the protest determination to district court to an arbitrator. There are multiple ways to appeal the protest determination to district court to an arbitrator, and in some counties to a state administrative law judge. Before the Property Tax Code, there was no clear statutory process for appealing a valuation to court. Taxpayers generally had to sue on the grounds that the assessor or Board of Equalization had violated constitutional rights. Are we breaking this section?
Go to 60. Go to page 60.
Going to D, the tax cycle. So the tax cycle is a schedule of property tax activities that take place every year. They're divided into 4 phases: appraisal, equalization, assessment, and collection. And there's this lovely, lovely chart. January through mid-May is the appraisal phase, and then mid-May through late July is the equalization phase, or the ARB. And then late July through October 1st is the assessment phase, and then October 1st through December 31st, or actually January 31st of the following year, is the collection phase.
Why don't you read the dates inside each phase?
Oh, okay. So...
because they're going to test on those things, the dates.
So the appraisal phase is January 1st through May 15th. Equalization phase is 5/15 through 7/25. Assessment phase is 7/25 through 10/1. Collection phase is 10/1 through 1/31 of the following year. And prior year's delinquent collection is February 1 until collected. And prior year's current collections until, you've got until 1/31, is that what that means?
Before you get late.
Okay. Oh, so now what's this? Just read it?
Yeah.
So January 1st, the tax year begins. February 1st, prior year delinquency date. April 1st, notice to homeowners. April 1st, renditions due. April 30th, exemption applications are due. May 1st, notices are delivered. May 15th, records submitted to ARB. May 15th, last day to protest, or 30 days after the notice is mailed. July 20th, ARB approves records. July 25th, Chief Appraiser certifies appraisal roll. And October 1st, tax bills are usually mailed. The appraisal phase, the appraisal district, January 1 through May 15, you discover, list, and appraise property, administer exemptions and special appraisal, update property records, and deliver notices. The equalization phase, or ARB, is May 15 through July 25th. Property owners protest before May 31st or 30 days after notice is mailed if later. And taxing unit challenges. Approval of appraisal records are by July 20th. Certification of appraisal roll by July 25th. Assessment phase is taxing unit and assessor. July 25th through October 1st. Appraisal rolls are received. Tax rate is adopted before September 30th or within 60 days. And various special procedures for tax rate increases. Taxes are collected, tax roll is approved, and bills are mailed around October 1st. Collections phased is collector October 1st throughout the year. Current collections October 1st through January 31st. Collect current taxes, issue refunds, collect tax, penalty, and interest on delinquent taxes, oversee delinquent tax collection efforts, tax bill due upon receipt, tax delinquent if not paid before February 1st. Some circumstances may postpone the deadline. Delinquent collections are February 1st until collected or no longer collectible.